You hope so?
I want me to find out.
You don't have to hope, you have just to make it happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, guys, bless.
Want me
Yeah, I'm starting shortly. Huh? Uh-huh.
put in the earpiece?
Yeah, I just rested right there.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
sorry.
Yeah. So what she said? Okay, alright, that's good then. Because I'm about to start with notes first.
You want me to write it down for you? Are you taking it one time?
Yeah. It's written down.
Okay. Capital HTS.
Capital HTS.
Dot. Capital N.
Full capitals HTS.
Yes.
Dot.
Dot. Capital N.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Small et.
Small.
Et.
Okay.
Yeah. Number sign. 2018.
Okay.
Ah.
Thanks. Yes, I can hear you. I heard the music, but we not start.
No. I was just doing a sound check. 1 minute. Yes.
Yes, we do give thanks for life and the mighty life given. We give thanks for this opportunity that we are here with you once more. We definitely do give thanks for Leafity, as it is, we love in the life that we love, and we love in the life that we live, and we do give thanks, said way, for tonight being a night whereby, night of thanksgiving and a night of just, being gracious as ever. Because most times we don't remember to give thanks for the simplest of things, because um, it's just always important that people just stay focused on the good stuff. Remember that definitely we are open up on Jeremy Street, Livity Foods, whereby you get all your herbs and all your male package, your female package, everything that you actually need to get yourself wholesome. And definitely as we are moving away from the whole realms of the cooked food, and then we move more towards the realms of the smoothies and the teas and your little pastries here and there, but basically your fresh salads and these things there, just to actually help you, get to that point in your existence whereby you learn to do things that are more beneficial for your immune system. Whereby most people don't really like drinking tea. Most people drink juice, and they drink coconut water, or they some kind of thing, soda, or they drink some beers or whatever they drink. But a lot of people don't really take a cup of tea. Tea would always, because remember, tea is, I mean, your food is your medicine, and then if it is that you have that understanding that your food is your medicine, then what you would to be doing is specifically you would be literally moving in a manner whereby you as a person could you know test and verify and ensure that whatever it is that you put in your mouth is something that is wholesome, because we don't really think about these things there, because we don't see our food as our medicines primarily. Okay, so when it is that you have that understanding, then what you are doing is that you are specifically allowing yourself to be a judge of the things that are essential to you, the things that are beneficial to you. So you will not just looking at what might be tasting good in your mouth, but you would also be testing for yourself and seeing whatever it is that is beneficial for your physical structure, because you understand the true definition of food, what food really is. And then, I mean, we know that our food is what we refer to as our medicine, and our medicine is what is our food, and then as they say, all the leaves of the trees shall be used for medicine. So we give thanks that bringing in that culture, that understanding that instead of just drinking juice or drinking a soda or drinking one of these things there, you as a person could utilize, okay, a cup of hot tea that could be beneficial for you, because wellness is something that is consistent. It's not something that happens like overnight. Like boom, you sick and you come and you drink this and boop and you all of a sudden you're good. And that is the abracadabra that we expect in our healing. That is why a lot of people, they just take the shortcut, and they take no responsibility whatsoever when it comes to the whole realms of how it is that they actually invest in themselves. So we are bringing forward the whole concept of bush tea or herbal tea drinking, right, forward to the people, because that is what our ancestors used to do. That is what our great grandmothers used to do. We always used to have, specifically, we always used to have a pan of tea in the house. You always have your loungette every night. They call it loungette, but basically you'd have your sour sop leaf tea, or you'd have your sour orange leaf tea, or your lime leaf tea. These things, they are things that people would be using for the night, or they say the chamomile tea, the chamomile, and all these bush teas, the patchouli and all them things there would be given, and every morning also when you get up you put something warm up on the stomach. So it is not like today, whereby parents send their children to school, and then what they consume when they reach their classes, even before they reach their class, what they are consuming specifically is some junk food. So our parents, it's important that the parents themselves deal better with the children, understanding what is it that they're supposed to be doing for the children. So it's better you give your child a flask, with some hot water, and a flask, with some cocoa tea, or some CMOS recharge, or or some soursop leaf tea, or or some patchouli tea, or some basil tea, or some rosemary tea, something whereby that could actually fortify the system than to give them, box juice, a juice in some plastic or some aluminum foil wrap, So these things there are the things that basically gradually deteriorate the health and the wellness of our children and also of the adults. Because growing up we never had that so-called privilege of being able to drink a complete soft drink. When I was growing up, I couldn't drink a whole soft drink. You drink a half of a soft drink, not even a half of a soft drink. One soft drink would be split into quarters of soda, a soda, Coke or Sprite or any of them kind of things there, man. Them things there would be, people never used to drink too much Coke. People used to do C and ice, C and them things that are purple and orange and all kind of different colors with plenty of sugar and things and some carbon dioxide, right? So then people who drink plenty of them things there, as a delicacy. It was not something that you get like every day, like today. Your child could get, you buy a whole case or 2 cases of chubby for your child, right? So they go to school, and every day you give them one chubby, and chubby for break, and a chubby for lunch, and and a chubby for when you're going home. So you have 3 chubbies, and you get your child chubby, and obese, and then you want to fight childhood obesity, when it is late, because at the end of the day, we are creating the monsters in our society by literally feeding our children these type of things. So when it is that, I know that we've been. I was watching this conference, not a conference. I saw a news item whereby the Rotary Club was presenting to the Governor General, and then they said that one of the things that they are doing is working against childhood obesity, and they wanted to start a campaign against that, and it is yeah, it's a good thing. If they see that is something good that they're supposed to be doing, yeah, but in St. Lucia, that's late. We started our childhood obesity thing from 2010 to 2009, so they started 11 years afterwards, and we've been on that mission from that time, from 2007 to now 2008, 2009, 2010, going into the schools and having the plant-based cooking competition. And just recently, I think that was last year or year, so we launched the same program in Bahamas. We invited there by a former senator, Dr. Higgs, and then we had a wonderful program with the youths when it comes to the whole aspect of the cooking and the wellness thing. So it is something that it's good that they starting up, but you see that people that's always all 10 a decade late, so same thing with the cannabis. They're trying to decriminalize it, but at least they're a whole decade late. These people, they are late. They're a whole decade late. They're far late. So they're so late, right? They're so late that they're too late. So how is it that Paul and St. Lucia going to catch up with all these developed countries? Come on. You have to come and contact someone like Brice Kailash and get some wisdom and intuit into how to make this thing happen. But anyway, right? So when it comes to the whole aspect of these things, there, as parents, now we feel comfortable to actually give our children free chubbies for the day, man, and free packets of biscuits. Oh, okay, a packet of biscuits. I don't know how they used to call them things there, but them, I can't remember what them names there. But I remember growing up, I can't remember what them names there, but I know what new names they have these days. But them little biscuits, them wrong little sugar-filled things with some whole heap of synthetic coloring. You understand? Full of corn syrup, sweeteners, and all type of preservatives and milk and cheese and all type of things, just to keep our children addicted to them. These poisons. They call them junk food, but it's just junk because there's nothing called junk food. If it's junk, it's junk. The junk really can't be food. So the parents, they put their free little soft drinks and their little sodas in, and then they put their how do you call it? Not the soda. They put their little biscuits, and then they still put two chips, and CHEAPS, chips. Okay, right. I know you call it CHIPS, like potato chips, but them thing there's CHEAPS, chips. You know, some all bleached and I don't even know. And then you sprinkle some little salt on it and you fry it in some vegetable oils. I don't know where they get the oils from the vegetables. I don't know about that. I know about some nut oils, but they managed to get some vegetable oil, some oil from corn or some oil from soy or some type of thing, or some canola oil or some type of oil they get from some type of seed. I never see some kind of vegetable or some kind of thing, and then they fry that chips, CHEAPS, in it, put lots of salt and still add sugar and sprinkle some cheese, and make it so addictive that our children cannot do without it. And then they call it chips. It is chip. And so the parents now, I mean, they just paying the rent. They do not be firm and decisive when it comes to the wellness of the children. They are really parents. PAYRENT. So I'm breaking it down for the people who just don't not getting it. Just paying the rent. And it is for the people who basically just pay, every month they pay whatever, and children eat and they drink and they put and they go to bed and things, but the discipline and the actions that they have to put in place to guide that child along the way and do that. So they aid in the destruction of their own children, by literally feeding them particular types of foods that they know that's dangerous for them. Why? Because they don't love themselves as parents. They pay rent and then they don't understand that love that they're supposed to have for the children, the cheap, that energy to actually help the world to be a better place. The children, that makes the world a better place. What do you think? The children make the world a better place. I mean, imagine I'm going home to my children, so I feel good. So give thanks to the children. So at the end of the day, if it is that we don't show that discipline and that love and that commitment for the well-being of our own children, I mean, we are lost people. Because the children are supposed to be the future. So if it is that they are the future, and then you are giving them free chubbies to get them chubby. And a decade afterwards, you want to come and fight childhood obesity when it's far too late. I remember over a decade ago, I used to tell people, we have to take this thing seriously about the junk food you give into the children. I'm talking about a decade ago, over 10 years ago. I remember a lecture in Dominica, and all them things they are recording on we could go on YouTube and probably one of the lectures or some type of thing. I mean, these things, they are all around the place. They are there. So we don't have to you could go on and think it. But one of them lectures, I remember in Dominica, I was in a lecture in Dominica, one of the radio interviews or something, and I was telling the people, in 10 years time, 10-year-old children going to be having polycystic ovarian syndrome and fibroids, and 14-year-old girls going to develop breast cancer. And everybody, no, I mean, they never sit down and understand the science and look at it, and study it, because most of our people who are educated, they go to university, so you never see, right? They don't go to the whole aspect of the universe and get the knowledge. They go to university, so you never see nothing there, and then they graduate now, so they hit the grade you hit, and then they come out and then they don't even try to implement 1/10 of the knowledge that they actually received, or at least critique that knowledge, or be able to intellectually decide and argue and then discuss and then come up with solutions for the perceived problems. People just join the bandwagon and go, then they get old and they retire and they die. Right? So not innovative, not critical about whatever is given to us as a people. So they just accept, they swallow. Then they go and talk and they are, oh, well, according to so and so and so, and according to so. So when will somebody say according to you? If it is that you're going to utilize your knowledge that you have learned to actually create something revolutionary, something uplifting for the human race. I know we're not racing, okay, for the human nation, okay, all right. So people just go to university and then they come out and then that's it, they don't do anything, and there's so much education that they have, they're gonna live past 80, and then the children themselves are coming to that whole realm. So our children supposed to be our future, and yet still we are poisoning them with some wicked foods, now wicked junk, and then if we talk about it now, then people will feel away because they know the truth that you as a parent, you are culpable, you are responsible, and God, creator and creation will also hold you accountable for that. So when you consciously, remember, the biggest miracle, the most powerful event that ever takes place on the face of the earth, right, is when a sperm actually leaves the testicles, right? And the heartbeat of the man rises to 144 heartbeats and climbs up the spinal cord of the man and picks up a soul and then jumps into the darkness of the womb of the woman and collides with the ovum, the egg, giving it a soul, right? Adding 23 chromosomes, capturing that soul from the blackness outside there in creation, right, and bringing it into the womb of the woman, into that microcosmo. So from the macrocosmo into the microcosmo, and the creation of a child, of a baby after 9 months. So you've been given that privilege, that power to actually create, to take some stardust from outside there, some memory and something outside there, and take it into your womb and create someone who can change the world. Someone who could actually create something revolutionary, someone who could actually make the world a better place. So when it is that even now in our society, we have this thing that's so whacked, so people are so sick in the head, I mean, people that you have some real people who are really sick in the head, man. That, remember, this is the greatest potential. Even St. Lucia now is at a negative growth rate. It's not like we how long, St. Lucia, the population is always 160,000 or 150,000. It's always the same. Maybe even getting less. So you never hear St. Lucia. Since the day, we are 100 and something thousand people. We can't get to 200,000 people. So we are at a negative growth rate. Okay, so more people dying and thing and going over there and going over here, and people actually being born and then be playing as a boy. I said, if you have one child, oh, well, you have another child again, you're pregnant again. They make the woman feel so bad. Exercising, right, the greatest gift in creation, what has the greatest power, the greatest, the best. What is greater than actually giving birth? What is greater than that? What is greater than creating human beings to actually change the world? Nothing greater than that. So why is it that someone who some ignorant person who probably, whatever, how these people they are, when they see you with your belly and thing, they want to come and put in some negative mentality your heavens. The boy, you have enough already. You have two already. You making another one. So that's the last one. Ça va ça faire. Right? Ça va ça faire. Right? So someone exercising that fundamental creational right, that practice. You know how many women go and have abortion just because of kind of stupidness? There's some idiot, some person who doesn't know anything about creation, about God, and about the love of God, and about what's growing in your womb, that divine being that you have nurturing in your womb there, making the world a better place, a baby at a time, right? Then person there put some kind of thing in your head now, and you get so scared, you go and have an abortion there. Yes, I say, okay, so you think that the majority of our sisters who actually go and have an abortion, they do it because they want to know? That they are traumatized for the majority of their lives. Boy, it have been 5 today, it have been 15 today, and every birthday and everything they check on it and say, see what the child would have been, because they go and jump off a thing, or they go and drink something, or they go and to Mr. whoever, and then go and flush it out, Yeah, that's what they do. And then they traumatized for the rest of that just because some kind of ignorant person Johnny come too lately. See them walking around, they're beautiful, you know, very nice and round and fruitful and plump, right? And come and tell them some type of stupidness about that's the last one, that's the last one. Stupidness. You can't. That's life, right? If a bird can do it, a dog can survive, pig surviving in the wild, sheep, goat, all type of things surviving in the wild. God's creation, will not survive and excel and prosper, of course. So when it is that you exercise that fundamental right of being a creator or co-creator in capturing the soul out of the existence of the blackness of the black matter outside there in the universe, right? Not university, about the universe, the one verse, the one song, the song outside there in the blackness of the blackness, in the macrocosmo, and in the blackness of the blackness, in the womb of the woman, the microcosmo, right? So the sperm is like a shooting star, like a comet, if a planet, and then boom, you have creation. You have a baby, 23 chromosomes, and from the womb you know that baby, with good thoughts, with reading, because remember, the child receives not only your physical appearance, they also receive your memories, so they receive all the experiences, whatever it is that you have experienced. So the child is receiving that. The child is actually taking this in, right? So then you now, as an individual, overstanding that, know that you have to create new fun and loving memories that your child, while in your womb, his or her DNA can be shaped right into that perfect, sequence. I don't believe in no double helix thing in them people them, and I know that God don't come into but have to at least come in free, say father, okay, I would say mother, father, and child there, right? Some people say put father first, I put mother first, mother, father, and child. Okay, you know why? Because you see, if you had to wait on a man to give birth to a child, a man does be constipated as cry, much less to clothe the baby. You understand? So give thanks to the woman who could actually push out the baby. You understand? And be strong and be there. You see a man constipated to see him cry and thing and this thing they cry and just for the constipation, what if you have to go and push a baby? So it's woman, father, and child. Okay, alright. So the mother, the father, and the child, that's the three. They say the Father, the Son, and the Holy One. You say ghost, but we don't believe in no ghost. It has to be another man. How can you have the God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost? Where the ghost is? There's the Holy One, another one not there. There's no ghost. Ghost is you have to call it Ghostbusters, right? So free. God will always come in free. The spirit of Ptah over the now net, and then this Ra, the first created being actually come into existence. So Ptah, right? The male energy, the Nun or the Nun, as the Catholics have it good, the Nun, the Nun, the now net, right? And then you have Ra, the sun, have the SON and SUN being the same thing, the healing under his wings. So the same creational, so God always coming through. So if we follow the creational principles or the free nature of God, right, and then you still know that there are some kind of invisible and visible thing that's within that there, so, and then you could have to add another, 2 and make it a 5 for the grace, and add another 2 and make it a 7 for the completion, and still add another 2 and make it a 9 for the biggest number. So all them sequences and all them things, they have to manifest just in the pure mathematics of nature. So it really cannot be something that is abstract. So everything in education is based upon theory. So who tell me that now I can have my own theory? So you could tell me that no. But you could say, but you can't tell me that. But I'm my own free man and create my own thing. So somebody tell me I can't have it too. Right? So if I say something, so I have to quote, why? What about somebody quoting me then? Right? So what I'm saying is that from that point of creation of your child, whereby you are in that creational process, when the sperm and the egg collide, up until like 9 months when this child is actually being pushed out of the birth canal, the vaginal canal out into the world. So that's the first time, that child actually sees light. Because if the sperm comes out of the dark testicles, goes straight into the darkness of the womb of the woman. So at the end of the day, when we understand that, then we understand the significance of what we are creating, pushing out into the world. So this mother now and father, they don't just become parents, they become guardians, right? So they guard that child, right, throughout that external experience, because they also understood how significant the internal experience of that child in that womb supposed to be. So the thoughts of the mother and what she reads and what she speaks and what she eats, all these things, they are guided accordingly, right? So then when you actually push out that child, right, when you actually bring that child forth into creation, you continue in that same realms whereby you understand that you have created a divine energy, a divine spirit. You know, someone who has come to actually make the world a better place. And you could tell them that too. Yeah. So what? You're afraid to tell them that they come to make the world a better place, but they come to make the world a better place. So they have to make the world a better place. So they have to know that they come to make the world a better place, just to make the world a better place. Right? So we give thanks for that level of understanding. So then no parent, you know, okay, a parent might do it, paying the rent, but a guardian will guide the child from the chubbies, right, and them fake biscuits, you know, and all them sodas and all them junk foods, you know, and all them stupidness that just put in the children lunch kit. Poison, you know. The whole lunch kit, you just pass on the road and take all the children lunch kit and see. Imagine them is poison they put in that for the children. And everybody knows it's poison. Then where in nature you're going to get a tree and the juice is shocking color green. Or shocking color orange. So you squeeze that thing and the thing shocking color orange, man. You see that synthetic. It's synthetic. You know, so right now, remember, you know, we warned a decade ago saying that children at 10 years and 11 years and 12 years going to have polycystic ovarian syndrome and fibroids. I say at 10 years. And also children at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, young women, girls are going to have breast cancer. And young boys at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 going to have prostate cancer. Of course, they're going to have it because look, you fast forward in it. I tell you now, growing up, I never was able to drink a whole soft drink, but you're giving your child free of them. So that means that whereby the man that is 44, between 40 and 50 today, right? That is those who just escape like the fast food generation. Right? So the most fast food and conflicts, you see that they are a conflicts generation. The conflicts generation is like most people under the age of 40. That's the conflicts generation. Where is it there? Conflicts generation. Yeah, man. That's the people that's the time when people began to believe like conflicts was something so good. And eating cornflakes and milk first thing in the morning was something prestigious. So but if you're not having cornflakes for breakfast, you know the flakes of corn, you know. So whereby you could plant your corn, if it's corn you want, you could have plant your corn, right, and eat your corn first thing in the morning, you know. Or have, okay, plant your corn, grind it, and do a cornmeal porridge. Okay, I'm just saying, if it's corn you want. But you rather now eat cornflakes, the flakes of corn, right? And then use these flakes of corn as a sign of prestige. So for your breakfast in the morning, you just boil them because you see it on TV, of course. Cornflakes, crack and the milk and the nice picture with a strawberry on it and thing. And hey, that's so. Who want dying too? Who want dying? Nobody in it more than you know. You in your cornflakes now because look, you have your nice thing there, boiling your milk, that boiling that. Yeah, man, you're a superstar. Yeah. And you forget about all the good things. You forget about the sour uplift. Oh, by my way, say you guys now. Me that use that. I'll go and drink sour uplift. Yeah, look at that. I'm drinking sour uplift. And you laughing at the man. that drinking this sour uplift tea, and you're laughing at the man that drinking his little lemon bush, lemongrass, and his little basil, and his little copopon. You're laughing, but you're the biggest idiot. Because you don't check that look the man there holistically taking care of himself. And then years down the line you come and say, but see me boy, I was a real fool in a way. And then laughing at the man there, I was an idiot, eh? Look at me there, laughing at the man there. You see, making myself as a fool. You see, laughing at the man that okay, but boy, you see that? Oh, it's my freaking cow milk good, man. Oh, now I heard as coronavirus come, I heard that you have to build up your immune system, so you have to avoid dairy products. And all the time, remember, I used to laugh at people that don't drink cow milk. So I give thanks for Corona because Corona make a lot of people check themselves, Yeah, I give thanks. So what I going to do? Cry about Corona? No. I give thanks for Corona, man. Give thanks. People who used to laugh when I used to tell them don't drink milk, call me and tell me which kind of milk is better than the cow milk. Right? So the coronavirus made a lot of people read and study and understand the things that suppress the immune system. Right? And remember, I went to medical school, I went to medical school in Cuba. Right? I went to medical school at Spartan Medical School, right here in St. Lucia. I went to the American University of Antigua College of Medicine, right? I studied at the Da Vinci's College of Natural Medicine, herbal diploma. I have plenty things I do as a man, plenty of study I do. And when I study, mostly all the science I learned tell me that people of African descendants and Asians, they are up to 80% lactose intolerant, meaning that they're not supposed to be consuming no cow's milk. But yet still, as soon as the baby born, right? As soon as the baby born, they're already feeding them cow's milk. When you go to school and learn that these people are lactose intolerant, So from time to time, how can you go to school and you learn that people of African descent, right? Of people like Africans, black man, as some people would say, are lactose intolerant, up to 80% of them. And then now, right, in a big country, remember I went to Africa, I went to Ghana, right, and then you passing on all the roads and seeing big signs that saying drink milk. Is it not before they said it was that? No, we never drink. These people that come and forced us to drink our milk. You know what they did? They came into the primary schools and they used to give it for free. And they used to give you clean cow milk and butter. Right? So when you go to I remember that when they used to give you them things that in their school, they're clean and imagine they give you so much fat. You see, the fact that we have so much diabetes, you think it's anyway. So they used to give you the milk and they still put butter in that for you. It's killing your arteries, eh? Why would you do something so terrible? The cow milk already have as much cholesterol as the beef, right? And yet still you are putting butter inside of it again. So you put in butter and the milk. Double jeopardy. Right? And they used to force us to drink that in the primary. I remember that, man, as a young you'd have to run away from them type of things. You know the custom to that. Is your bush tea drinking every morning. They come and force milk on us from the primary school level. I remember them things that nobody can tell me no different because I know I studied to you, so guys. So you go to school, I never go to school. So I never went to school. So okay, so you telling me that, right? That okay, we're gonna open up the line. I know that we have so many people who go and study. A lot of people went to study all type of things, right? I want someone who went to study to call and tell me that they never learned that Asians and African people up to 80%, or some would say 70, 75%, whatever, up to 80% of them are lactose intolerant, meaning that the immune system does respond negatively. It's as an antigen, right, to the lactose, the milk, sugar, right, that is in natural, right? And don't call the WhatsApp number. Don't call the WhatsApp number. Text it. Don't call the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number on the screen. Don't call it now because you're gonna make the phone ring. I'm live on TV and it's some other different. Don't call the WhatsApp number. You text it if you want, then you could see whether we could answer your question and also what to do. You call the line 452-2693. Please don't call the WhatsApp number. Don't call the WhatsApp number. Okay? Alright. So we understand these things there specifically as a people and with education that you get, all that school that we go to, yet still somebody is still telling us that they are going to be giving our children, right? Our children, you know, cow milk. So come on. We suppose to understand better than that. I'm gonna go to school and learn all that thing there now and then still come drink cow's milk. And then you're gonna go to a school of 100% black children, right? And you're going to give them cow milk and butter, both products of dairy. And so what are your intentions if science says otherwise? Yes, Honorable Goddess Itopia Uhuru, blessed love. Annette Wilson, blessings, peace and love. Brazil Patois, blessed night. High Priest Kirash, give thanks. Fresh Factory, blessed love. Rashi Navana, I need your herbs. Oh, give thanks. Just give us a call. You know, Jason Kim, is it recommended to use IV vitamins B and C and D as opposed to digestion? Intravenous? Nah, man, drink your thing and eat your thing and sit down in the sun. Is this good? Because I heard it's good for the immunity and for youthfulness. It sounds like some kind of thing, man. How should I boil my teas when it comes skin from fruits and plants such ginger and turmeric? You don't boil herbs, you draw herbs. You boil the water and then you add the herbs to it. Petra Francis, blessed love. Amubeni, I beg niggas. Manners and respect, my Lord. Give thanks for the wise mind, energy, love. Give thanks. Wazil Patwa. True talks, honorable bay leaves, sticky nettle leaves, nuni leaves, mango leaves, ganja leaves, guava leaves, and bois Shannon leaves are good for the system. Yeah. Lana Mela, blessed love. Pupa 45, blessed love. Cross harmonics, evening, everyone, blessed. Blackmail, the crammer has a problem. Probably, I don't know. Probably it's just my finger pass on it and it's a bit thing. But I hope you're hearing me. Okay? Yes, beloved woman is Trinity, ever living life. Not everlasting, fresh factory. Ever living. Wizil Patwa. Many people don't like the bitter taste from herbs, especially drink it without sugar. You shouldn't drink any herbs tea with any sugar. It's supposed to be unsweetened. You're supposed to be able to taste the flavor of the herb that you are actually consuming. Very important. Jason Kim, what if you're Native American or Hispanic can drink milk? Yeah. Good night, priest. Blessed love. Positive message from you tonight. Oh, give thanks. Every time our message always positive. I mean tonight, you know. Because you agree with our message, you say it's positive, it's always positive. You understand that? Mm-hmm. So we give thanks. I mean, it's a good message. Yeah? Okay, all right, honorable. Give thanks. Love. Give thanks for the love. My sister for sending a message. 1699. Heart of love. That's from the WhatsApp. So definitely the lines are 145222693. I mean, I'm just speaking to you one thing. If you believe what we're saying is potent, or if it's not, I mean, come on, you could actually just tell us. Let us know exactly how it go. You know, because we need to hear what you have to say. I think you have a caller. Yes, caller. Yeah, blessed. Okay, all right. So the caller is asking, I mean, for those of you on YouTube, you already say that the camera is. I'm very phasing, thing for sure. And I didn't have a look at it tonight because, like, my cameraman is not here. And also, that internet connection is a thing. But, I mean, the best thing for kidney stone is basically your seed on the leaf. Seed on the leaf. That's it. Guanabana. Alright, if you think, yeah, Guanabana is the best thing. Okay? Yeah. Alright, okay. What about coconut milk? Is it better? Well, coconut don't really have milk in it. Because it's white, they call it coconut milk. but it's just coconut juice, the juice from the seed. Remember, coconut is a nut, so it's a nut milk. Okay, so not like a milk, like a cow's milk. It's nut. Okay, all right. Yes, I'm Sean, sis. Give thanks for the love, my sister. Bless your beautiful mother for me, heart of love. Greetings, brethren. This is just listening. Shout out, my bro. Oh, give thanks, um, my brethren. 5597. I mean, we went to school together, But you give me a timing ball for me to eat in. And you make me eat pepper, so, and then you give me a timing ball. I sure you don't remember that. Man, cayenne pepper, I better tell cayenne pepper for that. And tamarind, and you give me a tamarind ball for a tamarind ball. From that time, I don't know cayenne pepper is good medicine already. I get licks for that time from our teacher, Melvin Jean. Yeah, man. 384-871. Pardon me. Give thanks. If not cow's milk, what's the best nut milk? I mean, as grown-ups, we're not supposed to be using milk on the whole. When you pass 6 months, you could be without milk. Some parents just give their milk a year, 2 years or so to their children, but time you pass 6 months, you could do without milk. We don't really need milk, else you'd have still been sucking on your mother's breast milk. You don't need milk. Just because of what they have created, that culture, it's a market, then you just want milk. So if you want milk, coconut milk is the best thing to do. Coconut milk. Red cocoa. Alright? Full of medium chain fatty acids, semi-digested proteins, lots of iodine, lots of zinc, full of minerals. I mean, definitely, this is what you have to use. Okay, alright. We are bombarded with so much information. Some researchers say that dairy helps in shrinking fibroids. Which researcher will tell you that dairy will help you to shrink a fibroid? If you're eating dairy for all your life, then you shouldn't have no fibroids then. You just use your common sense. Does moringa help in shrinking fibroids? 70% of the shrinkage of fibroids come from the change of your state of mind. Next time, sister, don't put the WhatsApp number because everybody want freeness. They don't want to call. We want to hear your voice too. So stop just texting anything on WhatsApp. You could just call the line also 452-226. See, right now they bombarding me with WhatsApp freeness. Alright. Anyway, but you can still give them the freeness. It's okay. But I mean, call too, so at least you could hear your voice. Like you're afraid that you don't hear your voice. You could call too. Anyway. My stomach feels on fire now and it goes down. It goes down my human part. Are you talking about the vagina? I mean, it's okay. You can say the vagina, the human part. You're a big person. What can I drink to get rid of that heat? So it's plenty of inflammation. Start up some patchouli. Patchouli would be excellent for you to start. Patchouli for the stomach. Okay? Thank you. The WhatsApp phone because we're doing our live on it. Don't ring the phone. You still ring the phone. Why are you not ring the phone? Ring the 4522693. Yes, good night, bro. What herbs can one use for piles? Definitely, you could do a sit with some aloes, some sour orange, and in some hot water, and you sit down it, and then you apply cannabis oil with some castor oil. That's excellent. All right. Yes, give thanks. Yes, definitely. So we are talking about creating our children into sound and perfect beings when they come out of it. Because remember, the state of your egg the state of your egg is going to be the same state of your children. So don't believe like as if your eggs not right, that means that you're going to have right children. You have to take care of I could hear you clearer. Okay, all right, well, go ahead. I'm getting an echo though. Okay, go ahead now. Go ahead. Oh, give thanks, my brother. I mean, so, question, I mean, you stimulated my intellect. I mean, genetically modified organisms, what they call the GMO, is like basically inputting. You taking like, okay, let's say you have a blueprint for a house, and then the house supposed to have three bathrooms, 4 rooms, and sitting room and kitchen, and then you go into the blueprint, and then you put in before they build the house now. You say, well, boy, you put a blueprint, a security room, or some type of thing. So you add something to the blueprint. So when the house is actually built, it's not the same house that is supposed. It's a house with a different structure completely. So what they're doing, they are injecting a genetically modified organism. Is like, okay, for instance, you have corn. All right, now Monsanto. I mean, they've created a type of corn that as the corn grows, right, they put in the genes of the corn that the corn could produce its own pesticide, right? That when a worm bite the corn, the worm can die. So I mean, you just a bigger worm. I mean, if a small worm can die, I mean, you just a bigger worm. So that's what genetically modified organisms are. So it is an original organism that is actually where the genes of it and then the DNA is actually mapped, and then they could insert specific codes at particular places in that gene to make it more resistant or more susceptible or even prevent it from growing back. So most of the GMO seeds, when you plant them once, you really can get the seeds from them to actually grow. So I mean, the world that we are living in right now, 90% of everything you have is GMO. I mean, you hardly could find seeds that can grow back. I remember growing up, when you plant some cucumber, you could have harvest the cucumber, cut it open, and take out the seeds, let it dry over the fire, right? And then you can plant that same seed. And I'm sure nowadays you buy some cucumber and you plant it, right? You just you just leave it there, and I mean, that's it. I mean, that can't happen, that'll rot. Okay, so look at your peas that you buy from the supermarket. What you do, you soak them in water, and those that sprout, they're good. Don't eat that because it'll stink inside of you the same way, right? So you check for what sprouts, what grows. If it done, you don't take it. I would tell people, try your best to go non-GMO seeds. I'm not saying it's easy, but just try your best to do that, and try your best to save your seeds. So if you plant some okra, save some seeds and then dry some and plant some again. See how it comes, right? And definitely the slicing, I would say genetically modified organisms have been responsible for plenty of diseases, and it has resulted in the extinction of plenty of bees too. I mean, these things that kill bees, because of all these different type of chemicals produced by the plants because of they are genetically modified, right? So we don't support GMOs at all. We just like God created things, and I'm saying that also the tissue culture when it comes to the bananas and all them things there. All these things there are things that people actually create just for money, not for even the benefit of our people. So even on the mountain, Mount Kailash, I have banana from I go up the forest. If you're gonna find a banana, it's a macambu, right? And people don't like the macambu because of the heart of it is so hard. The reason it's so hard is because it still have seed like pods, or ficochon, them original bananas that is more into the forest. So you could more stick to it in that direction, like your macambu, your macabu banana. You understand? And then you could go down to the Gros Michel and them type of bananas there. Those are the more resistant bananas that are still growing in the forest. So definitely that's what I can tell you about them things there. The wild yam is the banja, right? I don't eat yam and them things, but if you have to eat a yam, it's the banja grows wild on the bush. You have to plant that. Just want you want yam, want it banja. So wild yam, it grows wild. The way you have to plant that just underneath the bush, right? So go and dig some and boop, you get it. Okay, right? So all them tissue culture thing, I like to plant my stuff and watch it grow and take care of it and give it energy, right? So tissue culture. 4522693, definitely you could give us a call. All right, okay. What you take naturally for treating dengue? I mean, you have a product called the answer. I mean, don't go and worry yourself. You have a product called the answer. Just go and leave it and get that. I'll take that for you. From the Bahamas, not big. Okay, need to be healed from a hernia. I try my best. I know I need the rest too, but how to eat? just send us an email at info@prescalash.com. Okay, send email info@prescalash.com. prestkalsh.com. Okay, give thanks. Okay, all right. Next question. Good night, sir. I'm not a sir, you know. I've never been knighted and I don't want to be knighted. I'm Priest Kailash. Yeah, good night, Priest Kailash. What can one use for constant belly aches, especially for a man? I don't know exactly where that belly ache is, how it does hurt you. You know, sometimes people say belly and it's not really the belly. You know, so if it is stomach issue, I'll tell you basil, ginger, and patchouli, right? But I don't know if it is your gallbladder or your appendix or some type of thing. So, right, it's always good to check out someone on that expert and see exactly what is going on. But I mean, if it's one of these belly aches, you could try some patchouli, ginger, and some basil. These things will be good for your gas if it's gas. I'm not saying you have gas, I'm just saying for me for gas, brother. Look come and say prescription tell me right, I don't know. I'm thinking now. Go to a doctor, what's what happen to you. Alright. And what could you take naturally for an ulcer? What type of ulcer? Where is the ulcer? There are many different ulcers, many different places you could have ulcer. Okay. St. Martin. My husband had a mild stroke. What can I give him? We have a product called peptic ulcer, patchouli for peptic ulcer. Patchouli, okay, and avoid fried foods. Okay, patchouli is very good. A cup of patchouli tea every 2 to 3 hours. A mild stroke, we have a product called Circle Early and also a product called the Icon, and just get him the complete. Okay, all right. Blessed Love Honorable, thanks for the confirmation of my thoughts on tissue culture, GMOs. Give thanks, my brethren. Have a blessed night. Give thanks, Honorable. Heart of love to the man for your question, and I pray that your son excels in all his endeavors. I won't shout out your name there, just leave your name private. So for the peptic ulcers, definitely you're welcome, Honorable. Which herbs increase appetite? Okay, it's cannabis, marijuana. You know, marijuana, cannabis. Just wait, man. Just now they say that they decriminalize anything, man. Just wait. You know, you could just take your thing, put it in a corner, and just wait. As you hear they say, boy, decriminalize bomb, you want to take your thing and say, yeah, I can take it now. Boom, and you get happy. Or you just go and you go St. Vincent, free up, you know. If you have in Antigua, you know, and St. Vincent, your neighbors there, and they say, you just take a plane ride, go up there and go and smoke some herb, man. And eat some food and come back. So every time you just go Antigua and smoke some herb, man, and you get up there and you come. You understand? Until they decriminalize in St. Lucia. It soon come, man. Yes, we have 4 more minutes definitely until close time. Remember that we are there with you on Jeremy Street. So all those people who want some herbs and some things, definitely they could actually check us. Love and Spice. Cornflakes was actually invented by a white man who wanted to suppress gay tendencies in men way back. To suppress or express. Wait, not working up. Anyway, I mean they take off all the vitamins E and all the nutrients from the cornflakes, and then they put pig thing and thing and salt, and then they give that to you and yes, Jah Olivier, Holy Manuel, I Selassie, Jah Rastafari, give thanks, my Lord. I see how you're seeing me on YouTube there. I'm so sorry about that, but I mean, I'm so sorry that you're not seeing me nice and crisp. I think I smudged my camera there. Alright, so I'm sorry. Alright, so Louis Allen, blessed love, and I will give thanks, Genevieve. Blessed love, and there are ways to plant seeds without using pests. Of course, there are plenty ways to plant seeds. I don't use no pesticides up in the mountain. We don't use no chemicals. I'd be killing my own self. What? I could never get pigeon peas coming from foreign to grow. But it's not good. Papa tea. Split peas also have our pests. Is it best to drink herbal tea hot or cold? Warm. Fresh factory. The camera is fine now, beloved. We can hear and see you. Give thanks for the ever living life. Oh, fresh factory. See how fast she learns? Right? I tell her ever living a while ago. She said everlasting and she learned. Give thanks, honorable goddess. Had to love you learn it. How to treat her nursing children. That's a whole program by itself. I won't be able to answer that one there as basically, our time is basically almost up. We have okay. Fresh Factory, give thanks. I do remember free lunch in elementary school and having first to it's free and no other option. So free food is free radicals. Yes, I give thanks. Let me just take two more of our WhatsApp things before we seal up. All right, thank you. You're welcome. I need a higher sex drive. What can I take, man or woman? We have a product called the Afro. Go at DVD. Ask about the Afro. That'll help you. What is best for diabetes? A complete change of lifestyle. What can cause a lady to have a period? I have a female package. You could check that out. Worst thing about the cornflakes, they brand it. You have a color? Okay, color. Blessed. You have 30 seconds. What's that? Uh-huh. I can hear that. Okay, all right. I'll answer. You could hang up here. I'll answer and tell you, okay? Because you only have about 30 seconds. What you do, you just take a tablespoon of virgin coconut oil. You put it over some steam, with some hot water, steam. You put it in your mouth and you gargle it at the back of your foot. All right. Afterwards, you're done. You boil about a cup of hot water. You put a teaspoon of sea salt and you put about 14 leaves of neem. Bitter. Go to Livity, get a free up laxative, get a pure gold, get an answer, and then get a blood detoxifier. And take that. That'll take care of your problem. Alright, so give thanks everyone who was with us tonight. It's definitely time for us to make a move. We give thanks for life and a mighty life giver, and all those of you who have actually joined us. And I pray that the Almighty Creator keep on blessing you and keep on making His holy face shine upon your holy face. And I pray that you just be focused and not just be a parent, be a guardian. And you see, people never even call and say nothing about what I say about that. Just call about and asking about their fruit and their thing there. So you must call and contribute about the topic at hand and give some input that at least you could help me in my work. It's not my work alone, it's all of our work, right? To take care of our children. Right? So give thanks again. Remember, leave this open up on Jeremy Street. 451-8813. You open up from 7 until 5. And remember, those of you on YouTube, you want to give us a link, info@priestkailash.com. Our website is being rebuilt, but you can still send us an email and we'll definitely stay in tune and in touch with you. Give thanks for life and a mighty life giver. Heart of love. Blessed.
Strength and more love and more strength and more love and more strength and more love and more divine glory and honor and energy towards the upcoming event next day. Pray all goes well, life and beautiful to the honorable priest and all the angels on that side. All strength from my heart to all hearts, universally, for the mother eyes.